What's up, Alphas? It's your boy, Alphas and mate. Looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. And I'm with the squad. We doing Just a Fan. And up top, you know, the one and only best on the mic. Indiana, he up there killing it. The whole Midwest know his name. It is Uniqo.
One time for that Hardy boy, I think he do this thing. And then yeah, one time for him, man. Hopefully he gets his life together. DUIs are expensive, and you for damn sure
it ain't his first one.
And you should not have 3. But also, it's a very hot day, and I'm hot, and I'm glistening with sweat like Keisha off of Belly.
And of course, to the right is the top right is the legend himself, the one and only. Like I said last week, making your favorite anime TikTokers mad. It's my name.
And you know that ain't changed. Shout out to Dragon Ball Superhero. That movie is not the bee's knees. I will just say that. Whether I watched it or not, I cannot reveal that kind of information on the internet because, you know, toy animation is a thing. But, you know, I appreciate everybody watching, you know.
And to the bottom right, we have the one and only, the legendary man himself. The Super Saiyan. He always turning Super Saiyan. Look at it. It's going Super Saiyan Blue right now. He's Afro Coming 765, aka Tori. How you doing there, Tori?
You already know, your local neighborhood scumbag, ready to give the folks their daily dose of a dirtbag. Y'all know the gimmick.
Yeah. We got some.
Tori, when you transform, Tori, is your transformation cry like, fuck this, I'm gonna play D&D.
Something like that. It's like, we'll get to it later.
Nah.
But yeah, we got a lot of news. Well, not a lot, but we got a lot of gaming news.
We finished our D&D campaign though. It's lit.
Let's go. This one ain't ultra difficult, Hunter.
We're already thinking about another one. I'm gonna play a bard for the first time. It's gonna be lit.
Tori's singing for us. He's gonna be playing the show.
Mad limericks, yo. Mad dirty limericks.
+6 charisma every time he plays a West Coast rapper.
Bro, I'm about to go so heavy into charisma, it's not even funny. I'm gonna be banging all of these D&D whores.
I already know.
You're talking to a guy who tipped a cow in game and then attempted to had to do 2 death saving throws because I tried to do the same thing to a sleeping dragon.
I've never heard nobody tipping a dragon, but Tori tried it.
Well, that's because dragons don't tip. They wake up and then they hit you for freaking 64 fire damage directly to your face.
Hell.
Speaking of RPGs,
if you're unlucky like me, you're a half-orc shaman and extremely, extremely weak to fire.
Yeah, but we got some gaming news. Xbox had their presentation. And it's very interesting. I want to start out with what people care about. Let's talk about what people care about. The game that everybody want to talk about. The game that trended all day yesterday. The game that some people said they didn't know what it was. Some people liked it. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. Some people like lag. But it is Starfield. Starfield is Bethesda's new game. The main showcase of the Xbox last
Elder Scrolls in space.
Yeah. My thoughts is it looked amazing. It looked incredible. The ideas are some of the great, if pulled off, could be one of the best games of all time. But here was my problem comes in. It sounds ridiculously ambitious. I played No Man's Sky, and they were ridiculously ambitious too, and it didn't quite work out the same way. First off, he's like, "Oh, you can travel to every planet, Joe." He said you can travel to every planet in the solar in this constellation. I'm like, cool. Then he's like, it's 100 of solar systems. You can travel to every one of them, and I'm like, okay, this sounds like it's a lot that y'all gonna live a bunch of empty space.
How much of this is copy and paste?
It sounds like it's gonna be a lot of empty space, and if I know anything about Bethesda, they got like at least 2 planets that everybody gonna mod.
Yep. It'll get filled up real quick.
They're like, hey, modders, we left you 1,000 planets. Get to work.
Yeah. And that's how you game the system, folks.
We are gonna leave these planets with just like one type of different creature on each planet that you've never seen before, and the rest of y'all, somebody gonna make Skyrim and Starfield. Watch.
It's gonna be like 15 skins of Planet Namek.
At least. Don't worry, there'll be a Naruto planet, there'll be a One Piece planet,
They will do that 100%. They gonna make that.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah. They will mod it till the cows come home, and there will be a cow planet.
Because I know
a planet that is actually a cow.
And I noticed Todd Howard specifically made the point that you can mod this game. He wanted to make sure y'all know that.
Yeah, he put that emphasis out there. He knows his. That specific point told me, I was like, they know their customer base. Like
Fallout 4, extremely modded game. By far,
yeah.
Oblivion, Skyrim, and Fallout 4 are literally the most modded games by far. They all got a big
After
mod.
we talked about the combat, I went back and played Fallout 4 again. The combat is surprisingly nice in Fallout 4. I forgot how nice it was. Everything else is garbage, but the combat, super good.
Literally no story in the game. We just walk to this one linear spot.
Yeah, it's a lot of just walking to the next place.
But technically you do whatever you want, but it ain't nothing to do. That's the problem. That's why I'm worried about Starfield. I'm literally worried there's nothing to do.
I wish you would watch people. You just need to watch people put the Fallout lore on. Just watch it on YouTube. They do some awesome stuff.
I go to sleep to that stuff at night. I play it in the background, like little lore videos from video games and stuff. I play that stuff in the background before I go to bed.
They got so much lore in there, and you actually get to meet these murdering bastards, and you get to see.
That's what you should do, Joe. Have you watched any Elden Ring lore videos?
Oh no! Now I know for a fact they told me that.
But remember, the story was written by George R.R. Martin, so you get your little Game of Thrones flair in there.
Yeah, if you can piece the story together.
By the way, I want to say this, and then we're gonna let Monte speak. The coolest thing is they just completely let it be customizable, and creating your own spaceship seemed like the funnest idea I've ever heard in my life. And they're like, you can put energy shields, or you can put guns. You don't even have to have shit. Just have like a bunch of guns and rockets and just shoot them at people, and then they got like a space fighting thing. And I thought that was very interesting.
Kingdom Hearts 1 would beg to differ about building spaceships, but I'll just go on about my business.
Gummy ships for life.
Well, I'm pretty sure
Gummy ships for life.
Good at one thing I give Bethesda, they are actually good than you do creations. Mm-hmm. Fallout, the only thing fun in Fallout I know is making them outposts was the only thing I had fun in Fallout 4 besides the combat. Everything else was boring. Outpost was good, Tor. Outpost is fun to make.
The DLC, I like the DLC better than the main game. Even when they tried to do the little scary thing with the little backwater DLC, the whole foggy town thing. It was cool. But like I said, after you guys reminded me about the combat in that last episode, I was like, was the combat that good? And it was. The story was just trash or non-existent. Combat was solid, though.
Monte, your thoughts on the Starfield?
So, I'm sorry, it's gonna sound a little bit pessimistic, but I am aware we're talking about No Man's Sky, the Borderlands edition with the Destiny 2 storyline. I mean, my bad. We're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but that's essentially what the game looks like. Now, that would be a wonderful game. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's like Borderlands gameplay with a Destiny 2 story, which hopefully the story is better than Destiny 2, because I really don't expect much from this story. I'm not going to cap to you, because when you got so much exploration, the story tends to take a drop off in those kind of games. Like, No Man's Sky story isn't memorable for the most part. So I'm like,
at all.
When you have exploration game, I mean, even looking at the track record of the recent games, Fallout 76 story is almost not even there. Fallout 4 story was subpar. And, we had Elder Scrolls Skyrim, but that's been down our face for the better part of 10 years. So it's like, I got to hope for, a good story in this game. Look, I ain't going to lie to you. My biggest fear is that this game is just not going to work on launch. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, it ain't that the game ain't going to be whatever. This game looks massive. 1,000 planets, I said hundreds of planets, over, many different galaxies and stuff, and they're all supposed to be different. I'm not
fully traversable.
I'm just really not a believer of that. Like, this is coming off of the same company that decided to make an online game with no NPCs. And I'm I'm not hopeful that they're gonna pull this off on day one. I'm just not. Like I know they pushed the game back, and I'm happy that they pushed the game back because you don't never want to put out a game that's not ready to be put out. But this mother don't have a release date as of when it's gonna be ready, so we just know somewhere within the first 6 months of 2023. I'm just not of the mindset that this mug is gonna work and be perfectly fine
at launch.
I really don't. Like I'm hopeful. I really hope it does because all the customization and everything in this game, it could be something that you could dive into for months or whatever. But
yeah.
I'm just not of the mindset that this game is gonna be 100% workable on launch. I'm just not. I feel like something's gonna go wrong. Something's not gonna be ready, or people gonna get in the game and it's gonna be one of them factories of, oh, the game is huge and it's
empty.
Things to do. Like it's empty. Like big but empty is perfectly example of that. Like it could be thousands of planets and like Tori said, 10 archetypes of planet or a whole bunch of fetch quests, to go and make this part, to build your spaceship, to do this for your spaceship, and go exploring in other places. But how much of it is going to be actual fun gameplay? Like to take Destiny 2, for example, Destiny 2, the fun part of it is, okay, you can get with your friends, fight giant raids and stuff like that. My question in Starfield is, what am I going to do for fun? I know what the gameplay looks like. I know you're fighting a couple of regular enemies. I know I can make spaceships and explore.
Wait for the Star Wars mod. Come on.
Like, what do I do for fun? If the main selling point
that's actually probably gonna be fire.
It's only exploring the planets, getting new material and building spaceships. That doesn't give a fun factor. Like, what can I do? Like, how can I kill things? How can I destroy all these people? Like, what kind of bosses, what kind of things is it multiplayable to where I can get with my friends and we can go exploring together? How's all that going to work? It's a lot in this game, but I need substance, like story substance, mission substance, side missions, regular missions, possible bosses, raids, how much grind is necessary in this game, because that's something that was wonderfully neglected in this whole thing. How much grind is necessary for this?
The AI
and I know
was terrible though. I can say that the AI looks
like
I need the grind amount because microtransactions are going to be a part of this game in some form. So I need to know, because do not pull no Avengers on me and be like, oh, this mug looks wonderful and then you can do all this for a nominal fee.
Yeah, don't
give me this. Don't give me this. So I need to know. So it's a lot they showed. But it's a lot I need to know of what am I going to do from a regular basis other than building ships and exploring planets. So, like if I can go to a planet and that mother look like, because you're my last thing. If I go to a planet and that mother look like Metroid Prime, where I'm fighting Mother Brain and the Metroids and stuff like that on there, cool. Because then my ship has a purpose. But I know it's not even like a landing animation. They're just like, okay, you have out of planet gameplay and you have in planet gameplay. So I'm like, I need the ship to have more of a purpose than for me to just look good going from place to place. So I'm gonna need some stuff. I need some substance. It was a nice start, but I need substance. So, and I don't think it's gonna work because just their track record is not good. So I hope it does work. But we'll see.
So a quick question: why does the mods for Bethesda always work better the first time they come out than the actual?
I think it's because of how well versed the modders. Like the modders have been there for so long now that freaking
some of them I know. You son?
Like we're getting to the levels of like what's it called, like passed down. They've got like modding ancestors now. We're getting whole new generations of modders now. I think that's why.
By the way, the modders are so for Bethesda, like to these games, they actually made the game where you do find rooms, do like Elden Ring stuff. I'm like, how? And then it plays kind of like it don't quite play because the system ain't as new, but as far as the system can get for the old engine, it plays that well as the old engine. And I'm like, that's incredible.
It's a good system.
It is, but it's an updated version. Joe, your thoughts? Did you watch Starfield? What did you think?
I was just sitting back for the ride, enjoying what y'all got to say about it. That's what I got for Starfield. It sounds interesting.
That's potential.
it sounds like an interesting concept. So I hope you guys get what you want out of that. And at the same time, I hope that it does well because again, it sounds like a dope concept. That's what I got.
Tori, guess what, Tori? It comes
Huh.
out day one on Game Pass, as they told me 1,000 times.
Yeah, man.
I heard
I
that
don't
so
know.
much I got tired. I'm like, I knew it was coming.
They pressed it. They pressed it home hard that you can. I just, man, I worried that it could run into because even as much as I love Elden Ring, there's a lot of empty space in Elden Ring, and we're talking, and that's just the land between. We're talking about a whole solar system now. Bethesda's wanting to put into play,
Yo, they
and
said
it's
over
not
100
just like
planets.
it's not like Kingdom Hearts where you're just getting your gummy ship and you go from world to world, and there's a little shooting scene in between where you run into like they're making it sound like this is going to be. I almost sort of hope that they don't get too into the space travel because I feel like that's where they'll mess it up. If you're just going to do like little quick fast travels for the space and then make the planet super in depth and the quests there, maybe some on planet vehicles. I feel like the whole space concept is so easy to mess up with just scale alone.
Well, Ty Howard did announce today for the people that was questioned. There's 1,000 explorable planets, but it's no seamless flying. You will have like
Okay.
according to him, what you do is you remember in the gameplay they had the little ships, the little stations. You fly to there,
like the little pad thing.
yeah, the station thing they had. That you remember, and he went up to it, and then you pick where the spaceship go, and then as long as you
Okay.
he's basically saying you can just fly around that area, and then you go to a different planet, but you can fly around the planet, but you can't fly.
Okay.
It's not seamless.
See, that'd be the smart way to do it because I feel like if they try to go too hard into the space travel, I think that's where you mess up.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, talking about traveling. Think about how long it would take you to travel multiple universes. I'm like, you doing
Yeah.
way too much on this game, dog.
Multiple solar systems, bro. Not even multiple universes. Multiple
But no,
solar
like
systems.
even saying to explore a full planet, how much of this planet are you really gonna make explorable? Because a whole
Well,
planet.
if you can fly the spaceship on the planet, there's a lot more
It could
accessibility.
be
I
a
feel
lot of
like.
empty space. But the
Oh
last
yeah.
thing I got that's a
Well,
danger.
like I said, look at all the empty space in Elden Ring.
But the last thing I got that could possibly be a danger is so this game seems humongous. How much space is this gonna take up?
Humongous is too small a word for it. This game,
PC,
bro,
this
it
mug
sounds
might
crazy.
take up all the kind of space in the world. Not even counting day one updates and everything.
You're gonna have to get external storage off rip for it.
So I can see some pitfalls possibility in the future, and I don't know if they gonna fill all of them up for this game.
All I know,
Imagine the update patches for that game.
If you have to delete everything, if you had to, this game better deliver if you got to delete everything.
Yeah, if I got to delete my whole library,
yeah,
it better be amazing. Because I don't buy discs anymore. It's all digital downloads, and space is precious.
Xbox and all that stuff they still had their event. We got some other games. RedFall looked really fun to me. I'm gonna go mine. I'm gonna ask everybody in the group. RedFall, for people that don't know, is a vampire hunting game that's multiplayer. It looked very interesting. It had that little fun look, and the vampire looked really good. By the way, it looked very smooth, and the gameplay looked amazing. And using the elevator to do trick shots is like it'd be a real popular streaming game. Pound Life is like Borderlands with little weird alien guns. What they call alien gats. That looked interesting that they showed. Riot Games is coming to Xbox and they have everything unlockable. Arc 2. The main game I want to talk about besides, of course, the Starfield.
Did they show Hellsingers at any of those? I don't think they did.
I think they announced it before. I don't think they showed it.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to come out the end of the year. So Hellsingers, something's supposed to come out the year. Flintlock is the game I'm most interested in. Flintlock looked amazing. It looked like it's gonna be ridiculous fun, like a little teleport trick that you can do all kind of trick shots. Very fun looking game. It looked like it's gonna be the version of what's the game for Sony? Horizon. Zero Dawn.
Oh, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Like Horizon.
Yeah, like it's gonna be Xbox themed to that. And of course you had
Forbidden
Diablo
West
4.
is half off. People go play it.
Yeah. And of course you had Diablo 4. Everybody was excited about
You
that,
know
but
I'm
then
ready for that.
and everybody remembered what just happened, and everybody like, oh no, might not share.
They won't do that to Diablo 4. I don't put that. Let's stop that evil right
Tell
here.
me
Okay?
they won't.
They can't, bro. I'll be so.
Tell
I
me
might
they
say
won't. They
here,
won't.
if
They just messed up a whole freaking Warcraft.
that's just because it's a mobile game. They just did it because it's a
Retorched.
mobile game. They
Tell
won't
me
do
what
that
they
to a
won't do.
console.
Torre is very he's very
Man, I have to be optimistic. They can't do. I'll be
Tell
so
me
sad
what
because
they
I
won't
love
do.
Diablo, and the horrible part is Diablo Immortal is a good game. It's just
terrible.
crazy.
I would say the game that I got impressed by the most, or at least the one that was the most memorable, and then one that's sort of like I'm afraid for still. The one that got me the most is the Calypso Protocol. That one I actually enjoyed.
Oh, yeah,
it's like an ode to old Dead Space, which is a really good thing. Even though it's weird that it comes out the month before the Dead Space remake. And I'm like, I don't know whose idea this was.
Is it supposed to be like a prequel?
No, it's not connected to Dead Space at all. It just happens
At
at
all?
the game.
It's
really
same
like
universe.
So
okay.
It's definitely something. But the one that worried me a bit is when we first got this gameplay of Sonic Frontiers, the open world Sonic game, and we talking about open space. I ain't see nothing but open, empty space over the entirety of that gameplay. And I'm just like, okay, I see Sonic.
Which is weird.
Sonic. What's the point? Like they did a couple of puzzles on the open world. I'm like, this ain't really what I was imagining with gameplay with the open world Sonic.
I figured there'd be a lot more towers, a lot more obstacles.
Something more interesting at all. Like I wouldn't see a bunch of nothing. I'm just like, yo, did you man? Yeah.
Diablo 4 character creation is something I was looking forward to.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Diablo 4.
Me and Diablo. I can finally be me and Diablo, so hopefully it's not pay to win. We had
Dreadlocks in Diablo. Let's go.
Wolong Fallen Dynasty look interesting. We finally getting Grounded finished version will be coming out, and the Rocker finished version will be coming out at the end of next week. They announced 3 games today. They announced which ones? It wasn't nothing important. Let me see. Well, they didn't announce them. They had Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The game is coming to Xbox. They had Gungrave is coming to Xbox, and Stalker 2 finally got a trailer. So those are the things that are coming to Xbox. Anything interests you, Torque?
Just Diablo 4, in the hopes that they don't just make it ridiculous in-app purchase after ridiculous in-app purchase. I like to have a little faith that they won't do that, but it's hard telling. Because Diablo 4 is like the quintessential dungeon crawler. Like, as long as I'm not gonna complain. As long as there's local 4-player, we'll make it work.
It is. I read it. It is.
Okay, that's all that matters. We'll navigate if I gotta play it offline and avoid the purchases, I will. Because at the end of the day, you're just trying to sit in the crib with your homeboys and kill a bunch of skeletons and zombies and yeah.
Scorn is also something very interesting. Scorn is like a horror shooter, weird, messy game that's like Doom.
And I guess I'll say another one. I don't like the fact that The Last of Us is getting remade.
It's too early.
I'm not with it. And then they're making the multiplayer its own separate game. I'm like, look, you cannot milk series. I just don't understand. Like, it's too early. Do a Last of Us 3. Like, why a remake?
Game didn't even come out long ago. Remake.
For real, it is kind of wild though, because it wasn't that long ago
We talking
5
about
years
Fallout
time.
1 or Fallout 76 remakes that came out a decade ago.
There was a Fallout New Vegas remake.
Yeah, that's something. Joe, any
At
thoughts
least
on
I
the
think
game
that's
you
cool.
heard we talked about? Anything interest you? For the Starfield, Calypso Protocol, Scorn, Diablo 4.
Good luck, Xbox. May the best man win against Sony.
It's still
And
Sony for life in
Switch,
these
so.
parts.
So handle your business, man. Yeah, we still waiting for Kakarot DLC, and I'm not getting it. So
Just go and get ready for the next Dragon Ball Z game, bro. There ain't no point in waiting at this point.
With Blanco Gohan.
The next Dragon Ball Z game, they just done
my
sell
bad.
the story all over again.
Xenoverse 2 or Fighters, they may get some DLC, but Kakarot probably not.
That'd be some crazy late game DLC.
And apparently, the only thing I got is just that Sony is 100% doing the whole milking the hell out of Resident Evil. They have DLC coming out in October for The Village.
Well, that's Capcom. That ain't Sony.
Yeah, that's Capcom.
Oh, well, that's fair. Well, Capcom's milking the hell out of.
I am interested in the Final Fantasy, and the Resident Evil 4 remake. Though I think if they make it scarier, I think it could be a sleeper for Game of the Year. I'm not even going to BS, but we all know as of now, Elden Ring's Game of the Year.
Oh no, the Resident Evil 4 is not touching Game of the Year over Elden Ring. But
no, I didn't think about Elden Ring until after I said that. There's nothing outside of God of War coming out.
It just only be short.
Coming close to Elden Ring.
Resident Evil 4 just can't be short like 3 was. It just can't be short. They need to make it a decent length. It can't be short. If they're just making it spookier and they're going to remake off the original, I mean, the original Resident Evil 4 was what, like 40 hours minimum? Yeah, it didn't take that,
40,
but bro,
50 hours.
You can get the Resident Evil 3.
I think that's a lot of the problems.
3-4 hours. You get the Resident Evil 3 today.
These horrendous run times. Like, not every game needs to be 100 hours plus.
Yeah, that's what I got out of my news. I don't know. Xbox, like I said, just good luck. You guys got some very innovative concepts and all that stuff coming. Like I said, with our Sony event, I mean, it really just wasn't a whole bunch other than like, here's a sequel and here's a remake. All right, cool. Or here's the 6th Street Fighter. But I mean, Sony Capcom showed that at the Sony thing too. So, but it sounds like more original games are coming out for Xbox based off of what y'all saying, and I'm intrigued to watch somebody play them on YouTube.
I hope they work. That's all I hope. Well, you can, Joe, just get Game Pass. You can play it on the TV.
Well, to cheer Joe up, Joe, you know that there was Sony only said it was only a little third party thing they were throwing out there.
Joe's like me. Joe's a PlayStation kid.
It ain't that, but to make you happy, PlayStation did come out with their Xbox Live version. That came out yesterday.
Yeah,
so you definitely can go and look up their new subscription and see all the new classic games that you know.
I just wanted to know.
I haven't used it yet.
They're offering in all tiers. They're offering something called Game Help. Is that where you are way too lazy to leave your system and go to YouTube and see how to get past the part, or is like it's going to be a live chat representative like? Did you try this code or did you find that room? Find this room.
That could actually be smart if they built the search engine into it. So if you needed to look up something for a game mid-game, you could just do it in app. That's kind of
not in it.
Yeah, just have an AOL messages pop up.
Yeah, I'm still gonna just pull out my phone, but I mean that's innovative thinking.
Hey Joe, I see you. Hey Joseph, I see you stopped.
You've been at this part for like 3 hours.
I've noticed that you're
campaigning for Joe to play Elden Ring. I think that'll blow your Twitch up, Joe. Start playing Elden Ring because your facials pause, your facials alone when something happens that you either that actually surprises you, whether it's good or bad, or you're just annoyed, they're top notch. So you playing Elden Ring could be amazing.
I'm gonna move on to the next generation.
I'm telling you, the clips alone.
Y'all got Elden Ring. Y'all can have it. I enjoy watching other people play it. That'll actually be one of my one of the next things I watch on YouTube. I like watching interrogations. I like watching Ricky Smiley, and I like watching people play video games that I'm never going to play. So we're going to get some lore from Elden Ring.
We're going to get them to play it eventually, people.
bro, I have a gaming page and I haven't played even NBA 2K in like 3 weeks. I haven't played anything. I
I'm
just
telling you, it's
free on
addictive,
NBA
bro.
on Game Pass
Once
Cloud.
you kill that first boss, you will be thoroughly addicted.
I just don't have the time for it anymore. Like I
That's
really
my
can't sit
biggest
down and
problem.
play 40-hour games.
Hoping next month I
80
can get
hours.
down and actually play Elden Ring.
Grand Theft Auto 5 took me like 2.5 years to beat, just like Final Fantasy 15 did. I just didn't have the time to really sit down in 3 and 4 hour increments, you know?
Yeah,
Every time I get ready to
I'm
enjoy a game,
I'm a
somebody call
speed
me and ask
gamer
me
at
to
the
do
end of
something.
the day.
They're like, hey, bro, I need you to do this for the game. And Tori, do you know what Xbox told us at the end of the show? You can get it on Game
No,
Pass.
but I know you're gonna tell me.
You can get it on Game Pass because that was the whole show was just a big old shit. Speaking, Tori said something about facials. Speaking of facials, Nick Cannon need to get more and not.
Okay.
Hey, hold on, wait. Because we can't say that because he's got the money. If you got money like that, spread your seed, bro.
On as a facial, not in two random. And we went to Nick Cannon again and said he probably have more children on the way. I think he's on number 8. He said he might have more on the way. And the internet is in. I don't know what the internet is doing. I think everybody's like, yo, this man is trying to create a whole football team, trying to repopulate the planet. I've seen all kind of things. And I want to know.
I think he misunderstood the way population control was. We were in the context we've been using it. He took it the opposite way.
Nick Cannon like black people grandpa. You know, they just went out there and just had 9 kids.
Got like 12 families.
Yeah, just had like multiple kids and different families. How many brothers you got? About 14.
So,
I have one brother and one sister. That's it. And they're like, we got 14 kids. Joe, your thoughts on Nick Cannon?
hey man, like they say, be fruitful and multiply. Yeah, that's what the Bible says. And if you can take care of them in the best way that you can, especially financially, I guess they don't need you around as long as you got a little money. So maybe that's the thing. So man, prayers up to all them children, the brood of children he got now, and them girls. He got one number one rule: everybody good as long as everybody's cool with me. So not cool with each other, not cool. Cool if you cool with me, we good. So that's my thoughts on it, man. You got the money, go for it.
Strange thing is, not one baby mama have a bad thing to say about Nick Cannon. That's rare.
Yeah,
That's not strange.
Well, he got so many they probably only see him.
I know. Hey, I know one. Every one of my know they got like a lot of them. One of them did at least one.
Y'all think he still goes and sees Mariah?
No, I'll tell you what he does do with Mariah though. I mean, Mariah has nannies. Mariah is like a different level of rich. Like she can spare.
She married one of them. She married one of them internet billionaires.
Yeah, like she's got plenty of money to drop.
And she's Mariah Carey.
And I just like if you
her.
Like even Beyonce, Blue Ivy, she was with Jay-Z at the basketball game. Beyonce was probably like, man, I got shit to do today. I'm not going to that basketball game looking like a family to y'all.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blue Ivy for not looking as much like her dad anymore. That was something.
Yeah, she grew out of that. She's slowly looking more like her mother. She got lucky.
That's what you want out of that situation. It'd be ideal to grow out of looking like Jay-Z. So shout out to Beyonce's genes, just
kicking in,
putting in the sword and just like enough Jay-Z, enough genetics.
We gotta stop it before the nose gets any crazier.
Dr. Blue Ivy, she is not impressed by no one. As she should be.
But why would you be? Look at her parents, bro. Look at how she's grown up. How do you press that? Like, my dad is home.
Like, hey, Steph Curry, like, hey, Blue. Hey, LeBron, what's up, LeBron? What's up?
She probably don't even get into TikTok and stuff like regular kids. Like she's probably somewhere. I don't know what kind of stuff she does for entertainment, but I'm pretty.
That child is probably doing all kinds of classes, probably taking desks and tutors and all kinds of crazy stuff. They probably got a crazy genius on their hands.
I would say that's probably
by the
close
way,
to
when your parents is like so comfortably accomplished, you don't need.
Yeah.
You probably don't need TikTok.
You know, you have no reason to seek validation at that point. Like, you have everything.
Like Kim and Kanye, that North would probably be like, my mom and dad likes attention, so they do things for attention. Jay-Z and Beyonce literally just go off the face of the earth for 6 months and be like, we don't
think Jay-Z disappeared once and came back with crazy dreadlocks.
Tori, your thoughts on Nick Cannon?
Yeah, Joe hit the nail on the head. I'm not big on the Bible, but I mean, if he's got the money. Now, later on in life, emotional wise, I don't know. Maybe he's that dude, and he has enough money to make the time to. But I mean, as long as he can pay for him to live for that first 18 years, who are we to say otherwise? But I think emotionally though, I think that's
spending time with your kids is broke nigga activity.
Joe trying to get spicy, and since I need this podcast to get spicy, Monte, get us spicy.
That's broke nigga energy. Spending time with your kids.
Monte,
I don't know about no spicy.
Joe trying to get us spicy. Monte, get us spicy real quick.
I don't know about no spicy, but me and Zell May had this discussion previous to this because he is one of those that wants to blame Nick Cannon a lot more. And
I evenly, it's even to me. Like, hey, y'all both know better. Y'all know what y'all doing.
No, it is not so even because I'm more on the women that come after baby number 3. At a certain point, you know what they're there for. Like that's not right. Like I don't care how you call it. Like yeah, Nick Cannon is wrong but he wants to screw. Like y'all know he wants to screw. But the women that's coming in there that's letting themselves get pregnant, like especially 4, 5, 6, 7, what this man got 6 kids. What you gonna come in at number 7 and just let the man go in raw for? Like come on now. Like after a certain point, you gotta call it what it is. Like you cannot go and use a baby as a paycheck. That's wrong.
It is
like
wrong.
No, I'm not finna sit here and act like that's just cool. Now is he wrong? You damn right he is wrong because it's like, bro, after a certain point, you should try to do something about that. Now, to be fair, the reason why I give him a little bit of leeway was when he announced his most recent child. He was on a podcast and he literally said, "Hey, I went to my therapist. I was working on it. Like I was celibate for a month and a half. Like he was actively working on it. And then when he lost the child, because it went in the news that he had just recently lost a child, which is a traumatic thing to any parent. He was like, I was feeling some kind of way, like I was down. I was feeling it for losing my child. And he literally said, oh, women were like, oh, let's get him some sex. Like, bro, like that's literally the equivalent of you hanging out with an alcoholic and giving them something to drink when they just went through a traumatic stress event. And you like, hey, bro, let's go drinking. Like, no, like you're wrong because you know the weaknesses that person has and you're taking advantage of it for your own good. That is wrong. Like he's wrong. Yes, he's wrong. But literally the people that take advantage of him at a weak moment, come on now. I'm not going to act like they're just going to be exempt from it. No, they're both wrong, but that's wrong. You do not take advantage of people like that. Come on now. So yeah, they're both wrong. I'm not absolving either one of them. But I'm going to look at some of the women and they're like, is it really that serious that you sacrifice an entire child's life for a paycheck? And the reason why I say an entire child's life, Nick Cannon is not going to be able to be, in place to be, around all those kids all day, every day, like a traditional father might be able to, because his time is going to be limited and split between so many kids and his businesses. Like he owns channels, he runs shows, like he's busy. And so it's wrong on him, man, but for them as well, it's like, man, we can keep it a bean. Some of them children might not even realize they have siblings because how many of those baby mamas do you expect to keep in contact with each other?
Letting her daughter go no.
To get in contact with each other, be like, hey, no, they siblings, let them hang out, let them grow with each other. Like a lot of these women are around the world. They're around the US. They're not in the same state. Some of them ain't even nowhere close to each other. Some of them might be on the West Coast, some might be on the East Coast. Like, how many of them are gonna be like, okay, let's all schedule a get together with all 9 of his children so they can all meet each other, have family time and bond like siblings do. Do we really expect it to happen? No. Like, come on, man. And number 9 might not be it. Like, so that's gonna be wrong with him. But then you also gotta look at the women like, why are you signing yourself up to be 7, 8, 9, 10, potentially 11, potentially. Like, come on, man. I'm not just here and like that's cool. You sacrificing the child's.
I don't know. Have you seen his bank account
for a check?
Yeah.
I tell you, poor people do strange things. I done seen some.
You know what I mean? Because I get mad because the children are the ones that want something for that from both parties. Because Nick ain't gonna be able to be there physically all the time for all the children like that. And God forbid he have any health problems or anything, but he ain't gonna be able to be around all the time for all his kids and just constantly like that. So they're gonna grow up in like households they may suffer for it. And you putting children through this just because you want to get paid? Man.
Monte. This is my argument. This is my argument for it. It's the same thing I do when I listen to DJ Academic talk about the women they go with or the people they talk to. There are women that are pretty clout demons. There are people that just want to be with you because you got a name. You have to be aware of that. And they will show up. They don't care if they're wrong. They don't care about that. They're like, hey, I just want a child. Black China just did that, and she just bullied some dude, and she just lost a lawsuit that she owed now $309,000 for. It's a group of people.
I'm gonna look at Black China too. Like I'm not gonna just Nick Cannon gonna be the only name I'm gonna look in the news and go, man, yeah, no, I'm gonna look at because stuff happens. So I say normally after child number 3, if you look at Nick Cannon after 3 kids, like, oh, baby mama 4 don't sound that bad. What?
You women don't care about that. You talking about
so what? That's what I'm saying. That's wrong. Like I'm looking at Nick. Nick, you wrong for letting yourself get in that situation to like actually have this many kids. But after a certain point where he was actually acting on trying to make himself better, and you have people taking advantage of him when he's literally in a depression-like state from losing a child, and you come with that mentality, I can't respect it. There's no way.
I tell you all the time. I want this camera on me. I tell you, carry too much common sense. The world don't work like that. These people don't care about none of that you just said. Joe, am I lying? Joe, did they hear anything what he just said?
Hey, Mariah gonna make all his other kids sit out in the car.
They ain't coming to the house. What you mean?
I was gonna say they ain't coming to the house.
They were married, so like you legitimately be like, okay, we were married, but like, come on, a dude is literally sitting in a depression-like state from losing a child, like a newborn child, like a baby. He lost his child. And you rolling up like that, like to take advantage of him at that moment? Like, no, that is wrong. Like I said, like giving an addict a drug just because you want to go party. No, I'm not going to respect that kind of stuff. That is wrong. Like, screw that. So I'm going to call it like it is. He wrong for letting himself get in that situation. But you got to look at even the people that was taking advantage of him when he was at his weakest moment. Like, if it was a regular candidate, okay, cool, he want to go screw, whatever. The weak moment, man, losing a child and you going to take it back. Man, ain't no way. That's some bullshit.
But what about 4 to 6? Because 4 to 6, he wasn't in that state, was he? No, he wasn't in 4 to 6. What about 4
to 6? I think somewhere in there, right?
He wasn't. I was gonna say he's been doing this, so he's sort of.
I'm not absolving him for them. I'm gonna say like when you take advantage of somebody in their weak state.
Oh, you're talking about the last
one. Like mainly them last ones. Like, come on now, but even still like 4, 5, 6, and 7, you gotta start looking at like, now Mariah, if she's somewhere in there, which I think she is. She had the twins, but they were married. So, cool with that because they were trying to make a family, whatever. You just single mama, hey, I can pull a Nick Cannon, might get pregnant, have a child. I don't care what number you is in that. If you go in there for that reason, you are wrong. You're going to literally put a child through a possible more difficult life because you want a paycheck.
Hey, okay. Mariah ain't going to blow on them kids' food when it's hot.
By the way,
like who is them lesser than kids? Like Mariah probably just got that big of a head at this point. Who is the lesser kid? Nick, you know better than that. You should. I would have sent to wherever you had in a helicopter. You would never bring these kids over here. Like I feel like he has a quarterly reunion with his kids, like spring, winter, fall, summer. They just all of them get to hang out with him for a week.
Bro, like you can physically. It's hard to be around. And like them kids don't live in the same place, bro. They live in different states.
Yeah.
And this is a man. This is a millionaire. Like this is a man who owns channels, owns shows. Like what? Hey, And we signed up for this. I'm like, bro, people have gotten low to where we just like, I don't mind sacrificing the kids' entire life so I can get paid.
And I don't, man, and I'm not having no room. If I got 10 kids, I don't care how many rooms I got in my house. They all not getting one. Some of y'all, the 2 and 3 year olds and stuff, they have the infants. They're gonna have to stay in the room with me or something, man. But he got a big old house, like a big old Rick Ross kind of house. So like having to go to each room and check on all of them, man, that's got to be a journey in itself. You get your steps in messing with that. Y'all talking about space on Elden Ring? Shoot.
I'm hurt by that.
That man mentioned he'll be walking for days. You good in here? You good in here? Y'all good in here? I'll just make them be all in one. I bet they be sleeping in the same bed. Making pallets.
People do got to be conscious of what they got to be conscious of who you date, who you talk to, who want you.
I don't see him complaining, by the way.
Oh no, I see the thing about it. He done said he of the mindset. He like, bro, because I know when he was having like health scares and stuff, he's like, bro, he didn't expect to be here for like a super long life or something like that. So he's like, I'm trying to enjoy my life now. So I know his mentality. But there's a difference between like, hey, I'm going to have fun and all that kind of stuff. And then you got people coming up, well, I'm going to use that to get a payday.
Why is it? Why I think Nick Cannon's not stupid. So I think that if he knows that, I mean, because in the interviews, I think he would have said, man, I know they're taking advantage of me, blah, blah, blah. I know these girls just want to check, or maybe nobody asked the right question. But I mean, if he feels some type of way about it, I think he's had ample opportunity to really speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, I congratulate him for at least trying that last time. I'm just like, bro, to me, I don't like the fact that you are willing to sacrifice a child, like an innocent life. We already have difficulties of bringing children in the world now, and sometimes they struggle with stuff. And we choose to bring a child. We choosing to bring a child or possibly bring a child into the world for our own selfish desires and putting them in a life that they didn't ask for and they suffer for.
I say that in the hood every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hood a wild place. I seen a dude at Southern Miss get set up.
Well, this has been a wild episode. We've covered the emotional spectrum here.
Yes, and we got one more. Joe, tell us about Wendy Williams, the show getting canceled. Is this the end of talk shows?
I don't think.
The new UPN, by the way, as Joe said. So we got
TV1 UPN. On Thursdays at that. Man, so it's been reported that basically Wendy Williams, her show is coming to an end. Period, and then while it's coming to an end, she's not going to be hosting it. She's going through a conservatorship with somebody that got a hold of her money. We know about her divorce with her husband. She had to pay him money. So whatever it is in that divorce. So with that being said, I don't know how much money she got, what she got access to, but apparently she's been borrowing money too from people. Since she can't get her own money, people say, oh, here you go, Wendy, here's 10, here's 20K, this, that, and the third. So, because that's what rich people do. But I think somebody gonna come knocking on the door and say, I need, and remember, let you hold that 10K. Well, here's the other thing about it. We don't know if Wendy remembers getting that 10K from you, because I think she got something going on, like a dementia, or something's not right, where somebody that's as intelligent and can speak as eloquent as she can, she's been on TV forever, for her to just magically not be able to have her money and all that, something's not right, and it's giving Britney Spears, man. But that's what's going on, man. I hate to see it. She's a legend in radio and TV. I just want to shout out that time her and Whitney Williams, her and Whitney and Whitney Houston got into it on the radio, and that's probably one of my best reads I've ever heard. But it was a bizarre interview with Whitney. It was like 2000, 2002, 2005, something like that. So that's when the interviews was real. But that's what I got on that, man.
Yo, shout out to Black women, but stop letting these weirdo husbands run your business, because it ends up being strange.
Monique.
Yes, don't let your husband be your manager, because he's too controlling. And it gets weird. Monte, your thought.
I mean, I'm gonna go with your original question, man. I think talk shows I think it's about a wrap, because
Ellen gone too, ain't she?
Streaming game, bro, the podcast game, they popping up everywhere, and talk shows, even cable television suffers for that, man.
Yep.
you can get. I ain't gotta wait for a daily talk show as much, but you got a 2-hour podcast coming on every day on multiple sites, multiple people, and it's not like it's just so many random people that's doing stuff like podcasts. Bro, Draymond Green doing a podcast during the finals every night almost.
Oh,
Like so, it ain't like it's just random schmoes all the time, bro. Like so, I mean,
LeBron said something about LeBron said making one. Imagine him having a podcast.
Man,
I'm interested to see whose platform is deserving.
Come on here, LeBron. Brian. Come on.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be open there. He's gonna have so many basketball people on that mug. He's gonna be like, bro, I got so much I've been wanting to say. He's still like, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. He go like, yeah, man. I don't know. LeBron just don't really strike me as the type to have a podcast because until he's out the league. Because if he's in the league, he still has to watch what he says. But I mean, it's something, man. It's gonna be some stuff, bro. I think talk shows, man, it's running a rap, bro. It's running a rap. I know when Ellen DeGeneres show was taking off, man. That's rough. These shows, Wendy Williams show have been on the air for 13 years, bro. 13 years. And I'm just like, bro, they ain't passing it on as far as I know. It's just that's it. So I'm just like, man, I think it's about a rap, bro.
And honestly, I was watching.
Unless you were like a really, really big name or something, like somebody that got weight. And then even then, instead of going through all of like the cable networks and everything, trying to get a show syndicated for different seasons, you just do a podcast. Just stream it.
Aaron Rodgers on every Tuesday.
You can do it way less. It's way less of a hassle. You got to go through less hoops.
Get a trash mic like Draymond Green.
You know.
I just and also
Tom
most
Brady got a podcast too, though. Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but most of the shows I watch right there on YouTube. If it's a talk show, I pretty much watch the highlights on YouTube. Even when Ellen would have those special, I didn't watch that on TV when Kanye was on there. That was a highlight on YouTube. That was a highlight on YouTube on her page.
Tom Brady does have a podcast called "Let's Go" with him and Larry Fitzgerald and Jim Gray.
Man, forget that. Not Tom Brady. Kanye's the one who needs a podcast. That man has. Oh my gosh.
Jalen Brown be the first one on.
Oh my god.
Him and Aaron Donald just. Aaron Donald, you gonna retire? You gonna quit? Them white people ain't gonna tell you what to do.
He is probably going to attribute himself to how much money Aaron Donald made. If it wasn't for me and Donda.
Yo, can we give a shout out? Because JJ Riddick has an amazing podcast. He has an amazing podcast. I'm talking about incredible. He'll put Tim Legler and it didn't. If you really want to talk basketball, they talk basketball. It ain't just clickbait LeBron versus Steph Curry randomly inserted into this conversation. It ain't Skip Bayless telling you LeBron missed 3. He didn't have a point for 4 minutes in the game, so he can't be great. Steph Curry went 0 for 9, so he can never be great. He's not in my top 50 because he's 0 for 9. I'm like, what? So it's real basketball. Y'all know what I mean? It's real talk about the game. It's not. I get why those shows important too. I get why the old media, because it's barbershop talk. But I feel like people get tired of it. How y'all feeling about that? Because the reason I'm talking about that because like Draymond coined the old media, new media. I'm feeling like talk show would be in old media category.
Yeah, you need people. When you can just do what we do, we don't need nobody. We just click a link and got some cameras and got internet. So I mean, I think that's saving a lot of money for like a NBC, if you will. They not paying all these people to produce their shows. They just got this one person that's really good on a laptop, and like, what your worth is probably about $50K a year when they used to be paying a whole production lot millions, in salary. So
yeah.
Corey, your thoughts? Talk show, TV.
Yeah, talk shows are going the same way radio has. Everything's slowly going digital, so podcasts are the inevitable point of it all.
True.
In honor of how much I've been watching Jedi stuff, I just want to say now this is podcasting.
This is the podcast you'll subscribe to.
The Last Jedi, I actually wasn't that bad. I actually finished watching it today, and I was like, it wasn't terrible. So I'm in the middle of
good.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, like it wasn't good.
It wasn't that bad though.
It wasn't good either. Very mid. I also watched Flagrant today with Logan Paul, and I watched the other one with Joe Rogan, and they both.
Yeah, I still got an hour left of Flagrant with Logan. It was a good one though.
All they did was Andrew was like literally drunk and high in the first 10 minutes, and and all he did was crack jokes for the next 2.5 hours. I'm like, okay.
It was a 3-hour pod.
Him and Joe Rogan got high, so I'm like, Flagrant didn't really take it to the next level. Akash still don't have a chair.
He's got one now. Now he does.
He got a chair. He did say that today on the podcast. Yeah, he ain't there though, so that's the problem. He ain't there to sit in. I'm like, hey, bro, they got your chair. You ain't even there to sit in. So hopefully soon, over on that get their studio and we get everything going. So if you want to support, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're on any, I didn't do that. I'm a horrible podcaster. If you're on any audio, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcast, hit that follow button. We do this every 2 or 3 days because we got a lot of these. If you're on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe. Tell your friends, share, do all that stuff. Super thanks, super chats, all those things in below. Clip, show your favorite parts, put it on your Facebook, all that kind of stuff. And we will continue to improve and get better and make this the greatest audio experience for you and the fans. Joe, what can they find you?
UniqoWilliams.com. All roads lead to probably how you got here.
Bro, Monte, what can they find you?
Boy, Monterey Hudson on all social media, especially Instagram and TikTok. Come see what I got to say. Click on the link tree. Plenty of stuff, plenty of pod, plenty of Monterey.
This is pod racing.
Buy the merch.
Buy that merch. Tor, what can they find you?
Afro Comedy 765 on everything. Catch me on the net being grimy.
In the early 90s.
And as for me, you can find me right here over on 99 Media. You can find me on my Zell May channel. You can find me over on 99 Sports. You can find me over on 99 Content channel soon. I will actually start putting more stuff up there soon. But right now we are just grinding this channel, doing this, trying to grow this. But next month the grind will really start because I think after July 5th, I don't really have nothing planned. So right now I got a lot of stuff I'm doing behind the scenes. Not for this, but just in general, helping people with stuff over the summer because it's the time of year. But I will be grinding in July. So looking forward to that. And as you know, we love you. Keep stomping. Something amazing can happen. Peace.